Kia ora koutou, ko te aho, haramai. Thank you for joining me for today's Makerspace activity. Today we're going to be making a wrecking ball, which I know will be very exciting for some of you. And we're not going to do our challenge activity this time because our wrecking ball is going to take some time to put together. We're just going to go through the pieces that you will need for the activity, and hopefully you should be able to find most of these at home. Okay, let's make a start. So here are the things that we're going to need today. Might need a few types of tape, some pipe cleaners. There's a couple of templates there. They are available from our website, and we'll give you a link for that later, and on the Facebook page. We've got some tube rolls, some dowels, some Crayola pens, some other pens which can be substituted for pencils, some scissors, and I've got some corflute here, which is recycling some old signs from the council, or you can use cardboard as well. You'll also notice this red round implement here on the floor. That is a tomato. So you can use anything that is round and anything with a little bit of weight. It could be a fruit or a vegetable. It is going to serve as our wrecking ball. Okay, are we ready? The first thing we have to do is to attach our two uprights. Now it doesn't really matter how tall these are, but we at least want them at least a ruler's length or height, so that we've got some space to swing between them. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to attach them to one end of the corflute. And I'm going to do that using tape and using some of these pens to provide some stabilisation. Okay, here we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, now what we need to do is we need to make a hole 2 holes here, 2 holes here, so we can feed through. In my example, we've got some dowel. Now I'm going to feed through the dowel. You could also use a pencil. Just have to make sure that these are either not too wide or that they are wide enough. Just adjust it to suit. Right, there we go, and that looks pretty sturdy to me as well. The next phase is to make the wrecking ball. So I've got my tomato here, and now we are going to wrap some of the pipe cleaner around. Just so we can attach it to our string and then to our dowel. Hopefully you've got enough ends that you can just twist around, and that's the beauty of having the pipe cleaners. I'm going to attach the string. Now making sure that I make the length of it such that it is not too low. Okay, so in this example mine will probably be about 20 centimetres. I was not very confident with my pipe cleaners, so I have wrapped my string around as much as I can. Now I'm going to attach my wrecking ball to the upright. Okay, how does that look? It looks pretty good. It looks like I can get a decent swing on that. And you'll see, of course, that I've placed it in the middle. Alright, it's now time to set up our targets, and this is where our Crayolas come in and our template with our 10-pin bowling set up on it. So what we're going to do is just going to pop that down there. To tape that to our base plate. Picking up one of my Crayolas, I'll sit it there. In fact, I'm going to put it up that way. And let's just see if this will fall over. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, I'm going to set up the rest of my Crayolas. Before we do our first test, what do we think might happen? Do we think they might all fall down? Will it depend on the angle at which I start the wrecking ball at? So say I started here, will that be enough for all the pins to go down? Let's have a look. The answer to that is no. So I'm going to reset the pins, which are our Crayola pens. Okay, so the other thing that we have included is this protractor template. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to cut that out. Okay, so we've attached our protractor to the top here. If I was to move our wrecking ball up to here, it would be swinging at the 90 degrees, or approximately. If I bring it down to about halfway, where it's on the diagonal, you can see that it's about at 45 degrees, and so on. And down at our upright would be 0 degrees. The measurements aren't exact, but it gives you a really good idea. So what I'd like you to do is to have a separate piece of paper, and I'd like you to record the things that might happen at different angles, or perhaps just write your hypothesis as to what might happen at different angles and at what angle we might need to be at for all the pins to go down. I'm going to try 45 degrees. Almost, but not all. Let's reset. 1 pin's down. What will it take to knock down all 10? Well, there are a couple of variables here, of course, and that is the not very good job I did at wrapping up my tomato. So that could have a bias towards one side, and that my wrecking ball is not swinging straight. The other variable could be that I'm not exactly in the center. If you want to be exactly in the center, you could measure it with a roller. Okay, I'm going to try, and I think I might be successful, at approximately 60 degrees. Voila, all pins down. The other variable, of course, that you need to think about is the weight of our tomato. And in this example, the tomato is quite heavy, and so it gains quite a lot of momentum from the higher angle. If you've got a slightly lighter object, it might need an even higher angle or greater angle to gain that momentum and knock down our pins. So how did you get on? I certainly had some fun with that today, and I hope you did too. Send us your feedback. Send us a video through the Facebook page or send us an email. Thanks for joining me. Ka kite.